I mean, you've done a lot in your professional career, and you still continuing to write and add to your career. But let's go back to the relationship between you and Pat. You know, when was the first time you guys met?
Yo, I think that if I remember, the first time we met was on a recruiting trip. I've been to LSU, and obviously I'm a big football fan. So I've always admired Pat, from afar, and him coming to LSU is like, that's a big deal, because at the time LSU wasn't getting top 5, national recruits. So for him to come there, he definitely put the school on the map, especially from a defensive back perspective. And so, yeah, I think that was like the first time, I officially met him.
Hey, he might, I'm sure he do remember this, but the first time we did meet, we was out, like you said, on our recruiting trip. And I tell people this story all the time because it still cracked me up to this day. Like I said, we was out, we was just chilling, and he was like, yo, if anybody know Ty, we know how you talk with his hands. He's like, yo, say 5, like I'm gonna be better than you, yo. I was like, damn, like, you still in high school.
Hey Pat, he told you that while he was on his recruiting trip, while you were already established. You was already established at LSU,
yeah,
right?
I say, man, you still in high school. But I say, you know what? I like that, and I want you to be better than me. And when he came there to LSU, man, it was like a match made in heaven. It was like a very, very unique friendship that jumped off from the gate. His playmaking ability speaks for itself, but the human that he is, the personality that he has, the caring heart that he has, it definitely separates him from a lot of men. So he's a special guy. So I'm definitely happy that we had the opportunity to meet at that time, and our relationship continued to grow.
Yeah.
So Pat, when was the first time when Tyrann signed to be a Tiger? When was the first time you saw him on the grass and you was like, oh yeah, youngin got it.
I'm telling you, it was listen, Mac, it was the first 7 on, yo. We going out there, it's all player organized because like in the summer we can't be with the coaches. It's just all the players. So like the older guys, we're all older guys in the secondary linebacker. We put our group together and be like, yo, we gonna meet up at 3 o'clock. Everybody, boom, we do out there. Everybody doing their workout, study hall. And we gonna meet up and we trying to get better. So it was one of those 7-on-7s, and the freshmen just got there. They was done with their day, and they was just strolling in. Him, E. Reed, like all the young boys is coming over from Lod Cook. That's our Breakfast Club spot. And literally the first 7 on, he had like 4 turnovers. Like I never forget. Like he had like 2 picks. Came and stripped somebody who caught like a slant on him. Like it was just phenomenal to watch. And I was like, yeah, like this kid got it. And it's very rare that you see. It's just like it is in the league. It's very rare that you see young players come into a institution or a situation with that it factor. You know what I mean? And that's what, like I said, that's what separated them.
Well, Tyrann, I know I was a fan of yours when you was playing college football. I was in the league at the time, but I thought the passion and the energy you displayed week in and week out was something you didn't see from a lot of young secondary players. So you first wore number 14, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
Yo, no, my first number was actually 12.
You had 12.
Mm-hmm.
I had 12 at first.
Yeah.
I switched to 14.
Okay. So you had, I remember seeing you balling with number 14, but eventually you made that switch to number 7.
Yeah.
Now, for a lot of football fans, they might not know what number 7 means for LSU, but tell us a little bit about the significance in that number.
Yeah, I mean, it holds great weight. You know what I mean? And just like I said earlier, man, I think Pat coming to LSU, being such a high recruit and, can literally go anywhere in the country, but yet, he come to LSU and, he kind of helped be, one of the forefathers, of DBU, and he's the reason a lot of guys, come there to play DB, especially cornerbacks, so I think, when he left, obviously, I was next in line, and in my mind is, what an opportunity, to wear a number or to represent somebody, that has really, done a lot for me, on and off the field. And, You know, I think him, just me being able to be around him, you know, I wasn't this, you know, elite specimen. You know, I wasn't this national recruit, but I think being around Pat and I think having that friendship, you know, I kind of felt like I was, you know, a part of that elite group. And, you know, I think it's important, you know, that, you know, he brought that out of me, that I saw that in myself through him. You know what I mean? So, you know, forever grateful for that. And, you know, yeah, he done so much for me, man. But yeah, I think just wearing number 7, just, you know, trying to represent him and, you know, keep his name alive as well.
Talking about the elite group, when you talk about the secondary players that have played at LSU, prior to this episode, many people reached out to me talking about claiming DBU, right? And me and Pat, we've had this discussion many a nights about DBU, me going to Florida State, Pat going to LSU, and of course you went to LSU as well. You know, is it, when you talk about DBU, Tyrann, I want you to be unbiased. I know how Pat feel about this, right? Yeah. But when you talk about DBU, does it start and stop with LSU? And if so, why?
You know, I think, you know, to be 100% honest, I think it like comes in waves, you know?
Right.
And so, you know, one program may hold that title for, you know, 6-8 years, and then it's another program, you know, and then it's going to be another one that come after that. And so, but I think, you know, LSU, I think we, in our mind, you know, we're able to come to the next level and really perform, you know, at that same level we did, you know, in college. And so obviously we got a lot of LSU guys that's currently in the league playing at a high level. So I think, yeah, that's probably why, you know, I give us the nod, you know, as far as DBU.
And that's exactly what I said, Matt. I said it comes in waves. I said when y'all had Prime, you know, T-Buck, you know, the list goes on, yourself. The list goes on, like Jalen,
Camardi, yeah.
X, Camardi, you know, the list goes on. It just goes in waves. And just like I told you, said since 2010 until at least now, you can say we're DBU.
Yeah, I think we probably got the best. Like if you could put LSU secondary up against any current, you know, active group, I think we'll probably have the best, you know, the most complete secondary for sure.
Who would be in that top 4 then? If you talk about the best LSU mates that are currently in the NFL, I give you a 5-man secondary with a 5th guy being a nickel. So 2 safeties, 2 corners, and a nickel. Give me that.
Pat P, he gonna travel with whoever number 1.
Yep.
And then I got Tre'Davious White.
Yep.
He gonna roll. Obviously Jamal Adams.
Yep.
Who else?
You need a nickel. You need another safety.
I as far as safety, I'll go with a young boy.
Who that?
Actually just tore his Achilles, but Grant Delpit.
Yeah, Delpit. Okay.
With us, I think he got the attitude. He could roll with us. And then obviously I play the nickel. I'll do all the running around.
Hey, listen here, man. I'm not gonna lie. That's a nice 5. Even with you throwing a young bull in there, Grant Delpit, because he was a big time playmaker last year in the secondary.
Right. Hey, and then we're gonna have my boy Dante on practice squad, man.
Man, listen. So you mean to tell me Dante got to make the practice squad? He can't even make the starting 5?
You said top 5, man.
I did. You know what? With y'all answering that question the way you did, with the depth that you have, the quality and the quantity, I must tip my hat to LSU. Right now, I would say I don't think there's another university that can put 5 outstanding players in the secondary right now and be content and happy. And if you got Dante Jackson coming in as the practice squad guy, and we're missing a few other guys too now, right?
That's what I'm saying. And not only that, the young fella can go in there and do what he's supposed to do. He can win the Thorpe back to back.
Yeah.
Oh, who are you talking about? Stingley.
Yeah.
He's just a sophomore.
How good is Stingley, man? I've been praising Stingley all year, man.
Stingley the real deal, man. I had the opportunity to work out with Stingley last year. Was it last year? No, yeah, it was last year. Yeah, I had an opportunity to work out with him while I was suspended. So I went to Baton Rouge a little bit and worked out with the young boys, and he got it, man. Like he's another one of those guys that came in with it. He's special. I mean, and you can tell, you know, as a freshman, you don't see many freshmen stepping on campus becoming the man, not out of nowhere. We kind of knew that was going to happen, but the way he handled it, the way he, carried himself throughout the process and continued to show up on those big stages, it was just like he's made for those moments. You know what I mean? So you can't deny that, so that's greatness right there. So, you know what I mean? You know it, man. You know it, Ty, you know greatness when you see it, and that young kid got it, man.
No question, no question. So let's transition to Tyrann when you get drafted. And you know what's, I don't know if you remember, Tyrann, but I remember coming out in the draft, you worked out with Pat, and we all was down in South Florida a little bit, grinding in that summer heat in South Florida when you was getting ready for the draft. And Pat used to talk to me all the time about you. And I know the process of you getting drafted clearly, was a little bit nerve-wracking. Right. But Pat was a guy that was definitely vocal about the Cardinals taking a chance and drafting you. Right. How did that make you feel, knowing that you got a guy, man, that you grew up looking up to, became a teammate of, a great friend also, and then with him having your back, being able to be that extra voice that you needed to get to Arizona, and then also proving them correctly and balling out? What did that mean to you?
I mean, it mean everything, man. When somebody could, speak highly of you, when others are, doubting you, you know what I mean? And to really be this voice of encouragement and support, and not a lot of people truly have that. I think it's easy to support people when everything's going well, but I think if you support somebody through adversity, that says a lot about, yourself, So like I said, man, just so thankful for him, in so many ways, man. He's really been one of those guys that's, really come into my life that has really like sparked my mind, in a lot of different instances, and got me thinking, further along. And so, but yeah, I think getting drafted to AZ, man, that was what I needed, coming into the league, being around him. Because when we was at LSU, it was, every day I was learning something, and I think when he went to the league, it was, I wasn't ready to lead those boys, especially off the field, and I think getting back around Pat, I was able to get back under that learning umbrella, you know what I mean? And until I was able to be a leader, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. And speaking on when he became a leader, it was remarkable to watch him grow. And I remember him getting his first C, I believe it was 2015, the year we went to the NFC Championship, and obviously you tore your ACL against the Eagles. But just when he got his C, just his whole demeanor changed. It wasn't like he arrived, because he already know who he is. He already know, like, what he can do. But once he got that C on his chest, it was like, all right, like I'm like one of the top 5 players. So therefore, like, what I say or how I play, how I move, it means something. And like he said, he was able to, watch that, not only for me, but from Larry, the Corey Peters, the Carson Palmers, the list goes on. And when he got that C, I was just so happy for him. And when he left the Cardinals and he went over to Houston and went over to did the same thing, it was like, he got it. And it was just, and I tell him all the time, it's a beautiful thing to watch him, the way he's blossomed into the world. Because I remember meeting him when he was, 16, 17 years old, this not snotty-nosed kid, but, just kid that, just needed guidance. And, like he said, I just wanted to, just pull out a helping hand to a brother, because I really felt that, we had a special connection when we first met. But nah, man, it's just definitely a pleasure to see where he's going and the leadership role that he's definitely taken on, not only with the Cardinals, but with his with the Chiefs and being an outstanding father to his 3 beautiful kids. It's just great, man. It's just great to see Ty growing to this man that he is today.